Hi, yes, hello, and welcome back to the Chan, and today we are going to be reacting to the Oklahoma City Bombing Explained, which is by Mr. Beat, not Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beat. Like a drum beat, but anyways, yeah, the original link is the link to the original video is going to be in the description below. And yeah, without any further ado, folks, let's begin.
Hey there, I'm Mr. Beat. When I was in middle school, the deadliest terrorist attack in American history up to that point happened about 3 hours from where I lived.
And yeah, for those of y'all who know what he's talking about, and judging by the title of the video, he is not talking about 9/11. Just want to let y'all know that. And yeah, let's continue.
I freaked out. I had a hard time understanding how such an evil act could happen. How could these men so coldly murder innocent people, including 19 children?
Jeez.
Well, I'm assuming you already know that I'm not talking about 9/11
No,
because
you're not,
you saw the title of the video.
Yep, I did.
This video is about an event that happened a few years before 9/11, 4/19, or the Oklahoma City bombing.
Scary that somebody could do that to other human beings. That's kind of...
Yeah, guys, that disaster was crazy, and yeah, you're gonna find out why. For those of you who does not know about this yet, that is why I'm reacting to this video. I've seen this before, but I am reacting to this in front of you guys. Like, I am rewatching it for you guys, just so you can understand why this happened or what caused this disaster in the first place. And yeah, warning guys, this is gonna be sad, because this is like a tragedy story. And yeah, alright. Let's continue. Let's go into a deep dive and find out why this happened, shall we? Even though I already know all about this, for those of you who don't know about this, it's like kind of your, I don't know. Let's just continue. Let's just figure out why this happened, okay? I know why it happened, but the rest of y'all who's watching this video don't know why this happened. So yeah, let's continue, shall we?
That's what scares me.
When you have rumors going around, rumors are like with anything, you know, you have to weed it out and find which is which and, you know, what's what, and that's what the investigative team has done so far, and they're doing real good a job at trying to find out if that's the truth or if it's, you know, an actual someone here close to town, which I doubt.
I'm a real strong proponent, I guess, of instant capital punishment. So I don't think they should even go to trial.
I think they ought to be hung. That's my opinion. There's a lot of women and children that got killed.
The morning of April 19th, 1995, it first seemed just like an ordinary Wednesday morning at the 9-story Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City. Most of the 646 folks who worked in the building were...
By the way, before we continue this video, I'd just like to say, go Thunder. I hope they win an NBA championship this year. They're in the #1 seed, so they should. Sorry, I just wanted to say that before we got to the rest of the video. Go Thunder. By the way, if you don't know what the Thunder is, it's basically an Oklahoma City team, an Oklahoma City NBA team. And yeah, they're doing amazing. Thanks to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shout out to you for carrying the team. Let's continue.
Worked for the Social Security Administration, Department of Housing and Urban Development, Department of Veterans Affairs, Drug Enforcement Administration, Secret Service, and Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms,
aka the ATF.
And had all been at work for about an hour or so. The building also housed America's Kids, a daycare center. And then, at exactly 9:02 a.m., a bomb explodes. The explosion was equal to more than 5,000 pounds of TNT. It can be heard and felt up to 55 miles away. Immediately,
Dang.
more than a third of the
Oh my
building was
gosh.
gone. When the bomb went off, a 30-foot wide, 8-foot deep crater. The blast destroyed at least 324 buildings
Dang.
and 86 cars
what?
within a 4-block radius.
Oh my
It
gosh.
shattered the glass of at least 258 nearby buildings. Some
Wow.
died immediately. Others died later, but the death toll
Wow.
eventually reached 168.
168
Most of them
people.
died from the collapse of the building, not the bomb blast itself. The victims included 3 pregnant women
Oh my
and
gosh.
19 children. One
That
as
is
young as
horrible.
3 months. More than 680 people in the building and surrounding area were injured. Hundreds who lived in the
Dang.
area were also now homeless. As first responders began the rescue efforts, the entire area seemed like a war zone. Eventually, more than 12,000 people helped with relief and rescue operations. Rebecca Anderson, a 37-year-old nurse, died after being hit on the head by debris trying to rescue victims. 26 others were injured during rescue attempts. From April 24th to 29th, rescuers attempted to
Jeez.
recover additional bodies by moving rubble. By May 5th, all but the bodies of 3 of the victims had been recovered and rescue operations ended. Demolition workers took down the rest of the building on May 23rd. In the days
Yep.
following the bombing, federal agents carried out one of the largest investigations in American history. They had
Yep, they
thousands
did.
of leads. At first, they assumed a group of people had conspired to carry out the attack. Many Americans assumed it was Middle Eastern terrorists like the ones who carried out the World Trade Center bombing 2 years prior.
Yep.
However, one lead proved to be the best lead. You see, they had found out that whoever placed the 5,000 pounds of homemade explosives had left it in a Ryder rental truck, lighting a 2-minute
Yep, they
fuse
did.
and parking that rental truck in a drop-off zone near the
Mhm.
building's daycare center. The suspect
Yep.
then had left in a getaway
Jeez.
vehicle, dropping off the keys to the truck a few blocks away. Just the day after the bombing, investigators found a rear axle of that Ryder rental truck and traced the vehicle identification number to a body shop / truck rental place in Junction City, Kansas.
Wow.
Employees there helped the FBI come up with a composite drawing of the dude who rented the van. A local hotel owner supplied the name, Tim McVeigh. He had
Yep.
accidentally written it down on the registration there. As it turns out, a state
my
trooper
gosh.
had already arrested Timothy McVeigh just 90 minutes after the bomb went off. McVeigh was driving north of Oklahoma City on Interstate 35 near the town of Perry, Oklahoma, and the trooper pulled him over for driving without a license plate and then arrested him for having a concealed weapon. On April 21st, federal agents took him into custody. After getting a warrant, federal agents searched the house of McVeigh's father, Bill. Based on new evidence there and the fact that others in Junction City had described others with McVeigh, they began looking into a dude named Terry Nichols and his brother James. After
Nichols.
digging deeper, agents found out that Terry and McVeigh were good friends going back to their days in the Army together. Both had strong anti-government and racist views, and both were into survivalism and guns. Agents did find
Dang.
lots of incriminating evidence at Terry Nichols' home, and he turned himself in. A few days later, agents also arrested his brother James, but they released him 32 days later due to lack of evidence. All of the forensic evidence quickly linked the Oklahoma City bombing to Timothy McVeigh, Terry Nichols, and another dude named Michael Fortier.
Michael
Fortier's
Fortier.
wife, Lori, and McVeigh's sister, Jennifer, were also linked, but ultimately were granted immunity, meaning they were cleared of getting in trouble. Fortier ended up becoming a star witness and took a plea deal to give up dirt on McVeigh and Nichols, and therefore ended up getting far less punishment later on. McVeigh was charged on 11 federal counts, including use of a weapon of mass destruction and multiple counts of first-degree murder. Nichols was charged with conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction and multiple counts of involuntary manslaughter. Both were convicted. McVeigh got the death penalty. Nichols got 161 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. For his cooperation, Fortier got 12 years in prison. He and his family have been in the United States Federal Witness Protection Program since his early release in 2006. Eventually, McVeigh spilled the beans, explaining exactly why he did it. He wanted to inspire a revolution against the federal government and justified it as defense against a tyrannical government. It was also retaliation for the Ruby Ridge siege and Waco siege. In fact, he chose that date, April 19th, because it was the 2-year anniversary of the Waco siege, and he chose the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building building because the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms had offices there and were involved with both Ruby Ridge and Waco.
Yep. So, now do you know why that happened? All because of Ruby Ridge and Waco. If those sieges didn't happen, then that disaster would have never happened at all. But Ruby Ridge and Waco did have to happen, and yeah, that's crazy, guys.
McVeigh died by lethal injection on June 11th, 2001.
Good. That guy, he deserved that. He deserved the lethal injection, in my opinion. After doing something horrible, including 19 children. Right, what happens to the other guy?
Gary Nichols is still alive in prison. The FBI's investigation of the bombing did still leave some questions. For example, we still don't know the exact origin of the idea to blow up the Murrah building. There are also more than likely others who are involved with the conspiracy. However, it seems clear that Timothy McVeigh orchestrated and carried out the whole thing, and all others were just accomplices. And while he wanted to start a revolution, all he did was unite the whole country against him.
Yep. So yeah, whoever's a kid that's watching this, don't do this, because, yeah, as someone once told me that I am going to tell all of you, even though you're hungry for revenge isn't always the answer to your problems. Because if you try to feed on revenge, like if you try to eat it, you're gonna regret eating it, believe me. That's what I've done, and sometimes I can still be hungry for revenge. Sometimes you can fail at revenge, but hey. Yeah. So like I said, kids, please don't do this. Revenge isn't always the answer. And yeah, let's continue, shall we?
He didn't attack the federal government. He attacked innocent Americans who just so happened to have federal government jobs.
Yep.
The Oklahoma City bombing remains the deadliest domestic terrorist attack in the history of the United States.
Yep.
It served as a wake-up call that no part of the country was safe from terrorism, that terrorists could easily assemble bombs and do lots of destruction, and that the most dangerous terrorists can sometimes be our neighbors.
Yep.
Thank you to my Patreon supporter, David Kosman, for suggesting this video topic, and I took his suggestion because he donates on Patreon. David is an Oklahoma native who had a teacher whose wife was just a few buildings away from the explosion on that fateful day. If you ever get the opportunity to go to the National Memorial in Oklahoma City, I strongly recommend it. I was there a few years ago. It does such a great job
enough
honoring...
talking, Mr. Beat. You've talked enough. By the way, you should listen to him, by the way. Like, about going to the Oklahoma City National Memorial. Yeah, you should do that, you know? And yeah, so that is it for my, for the Oklahoma City bombing explained reaction. I'm sorry that I even did this in the first place. It's just, I just want to let y'all know that I am a history buff. And so, therefore, I know a lot of history. And so I figured I took the liberty of, like reacting to a history video. So then you'll know what I know. So then you'll have a lot of knowledge like I do. And, yeah. So, yeah, that is it for this reaction. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I will see y'all in the next video. Deuces!